Hello, welcome back everybody. My name's Pedro. I am your host. I'm joined here with my co-host Steven.
What up?
We are two mics and some theories. Damn, I just did that thing you did where you look at I'm sorry, listeners, don't pay attention to me. I looked at you in the eye. I broke the fourth wall. Apologies.
I don't think there's anything wrong with breaking the fourth wall, man.
What if I just stayed like this the whole time?
A lot of people do that.
Really?
Yeah. Theo Vaughn in his this past weekend podcast, it's just him staring into the camera.
But then, does he have a guest?
Usually it's solo.
Okay.
And he basically just takes in segments. There's segments where he takes in video questions, requests, all these things, and he talks about his opinions, his personal life experiences, and all that, or just give advice.
Yo, did he pay you? I feel like that was a promotion.
I'm just saying that's different ways of people do their podcasts. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking into the camera.
No, but if I have a guest, I'm not gonna turn this way and just ignore you the whole time. What if I'm talking to you like this? Hey, Steven, how was your day? How are you, Steven? Really?
And then when I rewatch the video, then that's when our connection will be made.
Okay. Well, anyway, we are Two Mics and Some Theories. We are a podcast that focuses on stories, specifically books, tales, horror, comedies, movies, television. We pick at stories, search for the main idea to those stories, bring those ideas to fruition, and hopefully spark some imagination with you guys. So today, what do you have, Steven?
Well, over the weekend, 4th of July weekend, I actually finally saw Toy Story 4.
Well, it just came out.
Yeah, but I guess unlike diehard fans, I wasn't one of the first to watch it. Took me 4 weeks. 4 weeks, Pedro. Didn't just come out.
Was it?
It's been 4 weeks.
First week of June? Is that when it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, never mind. It has been a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they want to ask you, do you know what a shepherd's crook is?
A shepherd's crook. No, but if I was to break it down, a shepherd's crook sounds like some kind of shepherd tool, or it could be some kind of shepherd idea. Shepherd's crook. I'm gonna go with it's some kind of farmer tool.
Yeah, it's obviously a shepherd. They hoard around groups of sheep.
Well, Steven, they don't whore around sheep, all right?
Hoard.
Okay. Now I heard you.
Oh, jeez. And yeah, basically the crook is a tool that they use to yank them by their neck or by their feet.
Yeah, great rapper, Crook.
I guess. I don't think is there a rapper named Crook?
I think that's a nickname.
Crooked Eye.
I think Crook might be a nickname, or it's something he might have said that in a verse.
Yeah, I don't know. Never heard it.
Okay, so the shepherd's crook.
Shepherd's crook.
The tool.
You've watched the previous 3 movies, I would assume, for Toy Story. You haven't seen any of them.
I saw the first one. I saw the second one was where they go to a child's kindergarten? Or was that the third one? There was one where I think Woody or Buzz, I think Buzz went to they were trying to get Buzz back. Or was it Woody? They were trying to get one of them back, and they ended up going to a kindergarten classroom, and there was 2 different rooms and different toys, and there were like the good toys that everyone played with, and the toys that were ignored and broken and used and abused by these young children. I believe that was the second one, or the third one, one of those 2. But no, not really. I don't really remember them.
Okay.
I've seen parts of them, I think, but not enough for me to be comfortable enough to go watch the 4th one. I would want to rewatch them before I saw the fourth one.
That makes sense. It's actually better that you rewatch them. I didn't rewatch them. So I kind of was like, wait, what? A little bit confused on specific aspects, certain aspects of it. They brought back some characters that I guess were gone for the second and the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would have never known.
Like which character?
Bo Peep and her sheep.
She was in the first one or second one?
She came out on the first one and made a small cameo in the second one at the beginning and at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, unless I saw the third one prior to watching the fourth one, then I don't know, I wouldn't have noticed that she was gone.
Okay.
And you only notice this or start questioning this because she's like she actually has a big role in the fourth one where she gets lost and they kind of go back in time and show her getting lost or given away prior to the third one. So I'm like, wait, wasn't she in the third one? So throughout the whole time watching the fourth, I was just confused. I was like, I could have sworn she was in the fourth one, but I don't know. But basically, they go back in time between the second and third movie. Bo Peep and her sheep get given away, and then sometime in the fourth, we basically run into them again, and it's the whole reuniting love story.
Okay.
Between Woody and Bo Peep, but we find Bo Peep as a super badass.
Because who's in the first one? Who's the one with the pink dress?
That's Bo Peep.
Oh, so they were... The story was made to seem as both of them... To make them look out to be a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And okay. She looks... Not gonna lie, she looks thicker in the fourth one. With 3 C's. She's
a lot shinier in the fourth one. But I guess the graphics, the special effects are better. They can actually make her out to be seen as like a porcelain doll.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the first movie, she looks like if she's the same material as Woody and Buzz and everyone else, which is some type of like plastic, really soft plastic.
Yeah.
But so that was just something that was a little off for me at that point. But getting back to the shepherd's crook thing, yeah, I guess you didn't have any prior knowledge to what a crook was, right?
No.
Me neither. The only reason I'm asking is because I was actually looking up on Google. I was trying to see if Bo Peep actually came out in the third movie. Because like I said, I swore the whole little group was always together. But no, apparently they've been, as the movies progressed, they've been going missing.
Yeah.
So, like, and then they named other characters that didn't make appearances in the movies. But one of the articles that I was actually reading was, well, let me backtrack a little bit. The first trailer for Toy Story 4 came out Super Bowl weekend back in February.
Okay.
So back in February, PETA, the organization PETA, made this huge deal about Toy Story 4, specifically Bo Peep. And how can I say this? In the trailer, she comes out as this badass that's seen some things. She's not all, nicely tucked in, basically. I can't find a better word for the term, but she's not very well put together anymore. She's obviously been a lost toy, been rogue, living on her own. So she's seen some things. If I had to compare her, you've seen that poster of the girl with the bandana tied around her head, and she has like this arm motion, basically saying like we can do it, or girls can do it.
I think it's We Can Do It.
We can do it, right?
The iconic photo for, was it Milk?
I don't know if it was for milk, but I know it was for some type of women's movement.
Okay.
That's literally how that kind of presence she has in the movie, like where she doesn't need help, she isn't helpless. So she's just like this new modern era Bo Peep, but she still had the crook, and PETA made this big old deal like, oh, it still portrays what it was originally meant for. It hurts the animals, it hurts the sheep because you yank them by the neck, you yank them by the legs. It was used to get a hold of them while they sheared the sheep for their wool. And I don't know, at that point I was just kind of like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, that's a shepherd's crook.
Yeah.
And it's from the one that she has. I know she's a toy, but I would assume if she was a real person, it would be wooden. It looks like it's shaped like an exclamation point, with the top of it being very narrow and the rest of it just being a long staff.
Right. I actually don't know what it would be made out of.
I would assume it's not metal.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Wood would probably be the most plausible.
Right, so PETA made a big deal out of it because of what the shepherd's crook represented, that it was harmful to the animals, and because of that they wanted, what did they want to do?
They wanted them to basically remove it.
The movie or the crook?
The crook. Like they're kind of like, oh, we're in 2019, you're still portraying like Bo Peep as as being mean to the animals. Even though in the movie she's nothing but nice and loving and caring to her little 3-headed sheep.
I don't know, it kind of sounds like they're reaching.
I think it's a reach. I think it was just, they're just like, oh, we haven't made news in a while, let's try and stay relevant. Let's pick at anything.
Well, I don't want to say that either. I don't think they need us to be relevant. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know if they said anything else, but just based on the movies and what has happened with the toys and the animals, and even if she was hurting the sheep, they're
toys.
Well, they're not real. Well, hold on, they're toys, but they're also representing animals. It's like if you watch a movie that's just someone like a serial killer killing people from the beginning to the end, then you're gonna say, oh, it's just a movie. That wouldn't happen, but it could. So it's representing the idea of it, but in Toy Story she never even hurts an animal.
Nope, not at all.
If Bo Peep maybe was, let's say they were sheep and they were attacking her, and then she was swinging at them, then I might even consider their argument, but even then it still seems like a big reach. What else did they say?
Just that. Then I don't think the director, Josh Cooley, I think that's his name, I don't think he ever responded to it. Like I said, I didn't read about it until I was actually just looking up to see if Bo Peep was in the third movie, but I don't think it made that big of a wave for them to actually issue a statement. But even then, I don't think it would have changed anything. I think at that point, the movie was already basically done.
Yeah.
So what are they going to do? Not release it on the date they were going to release it?
Well, they're already promoting it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Unless they do that, one of those Game of Thrones things where they CGI remove a Starbucks cup. So if it made bigger news and it pressed Disney or Pixar to do something about it, then I think they could have done that, just remove the crook. But it would have, I think at that point they would have had to change the whole story.
How'd you like the story?
I actually liked it, enjoyed it.
What'd you like about it?
So obviously we follow Woody again.
All right, we follow Woody.
We follow Woody, and his main purpose is basically being that toy for his kid, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So his purpose is making sure that his kid is happy, is basically that him as a toy delivers everything that should be delivered from in that relationship from the kid to toy.
Mm-hmm.
So does the normal Woody things that he does. He risks his life, risks getting caught where he's moving, in order to make sure his new kid, Bonnie. So I don't know if you remember, but at the end of the third, he's no longer with Andy because Andy is going off to college, and he gives away the box of toys, so the whole gang stays together, to a little girl named Bonnie. And she has just as big of an imagination as Andy did. But, obviously she's growing up. She had to start her first day of kindergarten? Or
pre-K? Kindergarten?
Might have been pre-K.
Her first day of school.
Her first day of school, basically, and she was really scared. She didn't want to go. She asked if she can take a toy, and her dad was like, no, you can't take a toy. You're going to get in trouble. You're too old for that now. So she was all crying. And she left, but she forgot her backpack, and basically everyone there is like, all right, stay pushed. Bonnie always forgets something, so we can't risk moving because then she comes back within seconds. And then, she comes back and grabs her backpack and leaves. And then I was like, oh man, that was a close one. And then Woody's not there. Woody jumped into the backpack and, went with her on her first day and did all these secret spy stuff to make sure Bonnie has a good day. But yeah, basically we follow Woody. It I guess the whole story spans within a week. She does her orientation for her first day of school. She makes this new handcrafted toy called Forky, which is basically just a bunch of trash. Woody throws a bunch of trash onto the table, and Bonnie starts to work with her hands, and you literally uses a spork, ties a bunch of glues a lot of those little
googly eyes
onto it, and calls them Forky.
Okay.
So yes, that's how Bonnie's first day went. But I had a bunch of cool things. The fork, when it comes to life, it realizes that it doesn't believe it's a toy, even though Bonnie sees him as a toy. He's like, no, I'm trash. So he's the whole movie, the fork is trying to, ditch everyone and jump into trash, which it's pretty funny because you're made from trash. There's kind of an underlying story or issue where what you grew up in or what you're bred in is kind of what you grow up and tend to believe. Like, it's hard for you to get out of your habits, out of your ways, when that was all you knew.
Okay.
So there was that. What else? There was another thing I wanted to talk to you about. There's this antique shop that they end in. Basically, that's where the story ends. And without giving away too much, but they bring back a bunch of toys from the 1950s. So you can distinctly tell the new era toys between the older ones. And I don't know, I like how they kind of tied in a bunch of different styles of toys. So it was probably one of the best scenes to me. Do you remember those dummies from Goosebumps?
Goosebumps.
There's always that main villain character that was a dummy.
Wait, dummy as in some kind of prop, or dummy as in someone that's not bright?
No. We're still talking toys. The ventriloquist doll.
Oh, okay.
The one where you...
Oh, are they called dummies?
Yeah.
But aren't they called ventriloquist dolls?
I think that's the proper name, but they're known as dummies.
Oh, I've never heard them called that, but okay, I'm following. What about them?
So, I mean, I read Goosebumps growing up, and obviously the cover was always like this scary looking ventriloquist doll. And they make really good use of them in the movie. Like the first time they appear, if you're not expecting it, it kind of can give you a little shock factor. But it was really good. The only thing I didn't like, there wasn't really a bona fide bad guy or bad villain in the movie.
Okay, that bothered you?
I wouldn't say it bothered me, but it kind of... I don't know. I feel like in every story you have to have it. You have to have a villain.
You don't need a villain, just a challenge. Just so happens that the movies we watch now, there is a person that's a bad guy. But it could be an idea. You struggling to do something. You trying to get rich. The villain, money. What do you want? Money.
Okay. I don't know. I was kind of under the impression you need a villain. You need the bad guy to kind of butt heads with the protagonist in the story.
I would say yeah, but it doesn't have to be a person. It can be, and oftentimes it is, but it doesn't have to be a person. So you were looking for an actual person to be the villain?
Not an actual person, but like a toy, basically.
Something, yeah.
There's always a toy that's the villain, or that's always, fed up, or that's been betrayed one too many times by a kid. They've been given up on, they've been forgotten about, so now they're like, oh, fuck these children. And in this, there really isn't that. There's just, I guess, someone who's made out to be the villain at first. But then you get into her backstory and how she just wants to, give a child the same thing that Woody was able to give for Andy and now Bonnie. So she's like, you can help me with that. And then there's what are they called? Those toys where you pull the string from behind the doll and they start talking?
Yeah.
It's called they used it so many times in the movie, I can't believe I'm blanking. A voice box.
Oh, I didn't know that's the proper name for those toys. They're voice boxes?
Voice boxes.
Okay.
So basically that toy, the doll that we make out to be a villain, or start to make out to be a villain, she's basically in perfect condition. The only thing that's wrong with her is her voice box doesn't work. So the little girl, the little granddaughter, because I guess she's in the vintage antique shop. That's the grandma, and then she has a little granddaughter who comes in daily to, play with whatever toy she has, and she never wants to play with that specific doll because her voice box is ruined.
Okay.
So she thinks if she can get a new voice box, then that little girl will love her, and she'll be able to, provide her with a happy childhood.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me ask you this question.